Welcome back to my YouTube channel, WC Coins World. Today we will explore the complete story of the 1961 Jefferson nickel, the 5-cent coin that belongs to a series that is one of the most important and longest-running in United States coinage history. This coin is not just a simple piece of change, but a reflection of American culture, minting practices, and the economic life of the early 1960s. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938 when the mint decided to replace the Buffalo nickel, which had been in production since 1913. The Buffalo nickel, designed by James Earl Fraser, was loved by many, but the dies were difficult to strike and the mint was looking for something new, so a competition was held for artists to create a coin that would honor Thomas Jefferson. The winning design came from Felix Schlag, a German-born American sculptor who submitted a portrait of Jefferson on the obverse, and his home Monticello on the reverse. Schlag's design stood out because it combined a strong likeness of Jefferson with an architectural feature that symbolized Jefferson's legacy as a statesman, architect, and philosopher. From 1938 onward, the Jefferson nickel became a familiar part of American life, and by the time 1961 arrived, the design had already been circulating for more than 20 years. The coin was struck every year except during the war years, when its composition was changed to include silver due to wartime needs, but the design remained consistent, making it a recognizable coin in every household. The composition of the Jefferson nickel in 1961 was the same as most other years in the series, consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This combination produced a durable coin that could withstand decades of circulation. The alloy gave the coin its typical silvery appearance, even though no precious metal was used. The obverse of the 1961 Jefferson nickel featured the portrait of Thomas Jefferson facing left. The inscriptions included "In God We Trust" along the left side, "Liberty," and the date 1961 on the right. This placement of the date next to liberty is distinctive and makes each year immediately identifiable. The reverse displayed Monticello Jefferson's Virginia estate, which had become an iconic symbol of American history. The design showed the building with great architectural detail. The word Monticello was written beneath the image, and the denomination 5 cents appeared below that, along with the words United States of America. The Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, was shown above Monticello. The year 1961 is truly remarkable, as it falls within the pre-1965 coinage era. During this time, the mint had not yet experienced the significant changes that occurred in the mid-1960s, including alterations in production processes and the utilization of new die types. Coins minted during this period are highly valued for their consistent design and their ability to represent the final years before the substantial shifts in coinage policies occurred. The 1961 Jefferson nickel was struck at two major mints, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. The Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark, as was the custom at the time, while the Denver coins displayed a D mint mark located on the reverse to the right of Monticello, identifying the mint of origin. The mintage figures of the 1961 Jefferson nickel are important to understand. Philadelphia produced over 73 million coins, while Denver produced more than 229 million coins. The high Denver mintage makes the Denver issue very common in circulation, while the Philadelphia issue, though smaller in number, is still plentiful by collector standards. Because of these large mintage figures, most 1961 nickels remained in circulation. For many decades, they were heavily used in commerce. During a period when the nickel had more purchasing power, vending machines, payphones, public transportation, and small purchases often required nickels, so these coins were vital to daily life. One of the most important collecting aspects of the 1961 Jefferson nickel is the strike quality. Jefferson nickels from the late 1950s and early 1960s are often known for weak strikes, especially in the details of Monticello. Collectors pay close attention to the steps on the building, as the full steps designation is a special marker of quality. A full steps 1961 Jefferson nickel means that all 5 or 6 steps on Monticello appear fully separated, and without breaks this level of detail was difficult to achieve consistently because of the hardness of the copper, nickel alloy, and the wear-on. The dies during mass production as a result full steps examples are scarce and highly prized by collectors. Proof coins were also produced in 1961 at the Philadelphia Mint. These proof nickels were included in proof sets and were struck with special dies polished to create mirror-like fields and sharp details. Over 3 million proof sets were sold, making proof coins from this year relatively available, but they remain collectible for their beauty and precision. In addition to standard strikes and proofs, collectors also pay attention to varieties and errors found on 1961 nickels. These include die cracks, die clashes, repunched mint marks, and differences caused by die deterioration. While not all of these varieties bring high premiums, they are still of interest to dedicated Jefferson nickel enthusiasts. The Jefferson nickel series as a whole is one of the most studied in American numismatics, and the 1961 issue fits into this larger story. It shows the challenges of mass production, the effects of die wear, and the changes in minting quality during this period, making it a coin that helps tell the broader narrative of American coinage. The 1961 Jefferson nickel, reflecting the economic environment of the early 1960s, was used widely in transactions, particularly in vending machines, highlighting the importance of a durable coin for frequent handling. Design-wise, the Jefferson nickel of 1961 shows how the schlag design had changed subtly over the years as the mint reused and modified dies over decades. The finer details of Jefferson's portrait and Monticello became less sharp. This loss of detail is one reason later modifications to the design were eventually made. Even though the Jefferson nickel was a common coin, its symbolic meaning was important. The choice of Jefferson as the portrait reflected the nation's respect for his role in drafting the Declaration of Independence and shaping American democracy, and the inclusion of Monticello linked the coin to his personal legacy as an architect and thinker. Collectors today often consider the 1961 Jefferson nickel to be a common date within the series, but value is determined by condition, mint mark, and strike quality. Circulated examples usually hold only face value, but uncirculated coins in high grades, especially those certified by professional grading services, can be worth significantly more. The hunt for full steps. Examples of the 1961 nickel continues to be one of the most exciting challenges for collectors because such coins are rare. They command strong premiums at auctions and in the numismatic market, making them an important target for Jefferson nickel specialists. Proof examples from 1961 also attract collector interest because they represent the craftsmanship of the mint during this period with sharp details and mirrored fields. Proof nickels remain beautiful examples of the series, and many collectors aim to assemble complete proof sets, including the 1961 edition. Error coins of this date, though not extremely rare, are always interesting to collectors. Coins struck off-center, coins with clipped planchets, or coins with doubled dies may occasionally be found, adding variety and uniqueness to any Jefferson nickel collection. The 1961 Jefferson nickel also connects to the long history of the nickel denomination itself, which began in 1866 with the Shield nickel, followed by the Liberty Head V nickel, and then the Buffalo nickel, before finally being replaced by the Jefferson design in 1938. This long line of history gives the 5-cent coin a deep numismatic heritage. From a broader perspective, the Jefferson nickel, including the 1961 issue, represents one of the longest-running unchanged designs in U.S. coinage history, lasting from 1938 until 2004, when the Westward Journey nickel series introduced new designs. Before the portrait of Jefferson was modernized in 2006. This longevity makes coins like the 1961 issue important for collectors who wish to study the consistency and changes in mint production over decades. Comparing the beginner, collectors can begin with the 1961 Jefferson nickel, as it's common and affordable. However, advanced collectors must find the best preserved examples with full steps or unique varieties. The Jefferson nickel series, including the 1961 coin, is collected by year and mint mark, often in albums filled with nickel coins. Every year and mint, this tradition has made Jefferson nickels one of the most popular collectible series in the United States. The durability of the copper-nickel alloy used for the 1961 nickel meant that millions of examples continued to circulate well into the 1980s and 1990s. Some even remain in circulation today, though. Heavily worn, these survivors connect the modern collector to the everyday commerce of the early 1960s. When examining a 1961 nickel, numismatists often pay attention to the condition of Jefferson's hair details on the obverse and the sharpness of Monticello's steps on the reverse. These are the key areas that reveal whether a coin has been well struck or weakly struck. Another aspect of study is the luster of uncirculated 1961 nickels mint state. Coins with strong original luster are more desirable than those that are dull or spotted, and collectors prize coins that have been preserved carefully since the time of issue. Certification by third-party grading services adds further value to 1961 nickels, especially when coins achieve high grades such as MS-65 or higher. Coins with full steps designation combined with high-grade certification can command impressive premiums compared to ordinary uncirculated pieces. Historically, the 1961 Jefferson nickel also reflects the traditions of coin design in the United States before the sweeping changes of the later 20th century, when new designs began to appear more frequently. This coin is part of the classic era of American coinage, stability and continuity. Collectors who specialize in Jefferson nickels often study die varieties and mint mark positions on 1961 nickels, looking for subtle repunched mint marks or differences between early and late die states. These small details add depth and challenge to the hobby. In summary, the 1961 Jefferson nickel may seem like an ordinary 5-cent coin, but it carries a story that connects art, history, minting technology, and everyday life. It reflects the vision of Felix Schlag, the traditions of the United States Mint, and the importance of coinage in American society during the early 1960s. The legacy of this coin continues today as it forms part of collections across the world, from simple albums of young collectors to advanced sets of specialists studying varieties and full steps rarities. The 1961 nickel holds a secure place in numismatic history. Thanks for watching WC Coins World. Share, like, and subscribe to stay informed on coins globally. See you in the next video.